Welcome, welcome. What's your dreams? You are listening to Ask Shamari, Let's Talk, a segment of True Dreams, where we truly believe all dreams are possible. I salute every father for taking a stand to be a stabilizing force in the home front. Shout out to you, great fathers. We appreciate you. We are continuing our topic today from boys to men with Minister Kingfish. I truly know it's time to put away childish things and stand up men for your responsibility. Let's talk. Today's discussion is about the role of a father and the importance of mentorship. How are you doing today, Minister?
I'm doing fine, Shamari. How about you?
Great. I heard your story several times about you not knowing your biological father and how your grandmother made sure you were surrounded with great mentors that assisted you in growing into the great man you are today. Let's talk about that.
Yes, Shamari. I will say this. I didn't even know I was even being mentored. Didn't have an idea. I just know that there were certain people that my grandmother allowed in my life, older cousins, uncles, friends that instilled certain things in me, or that I saw things. And I think that the instilling is really you just look at things, you observe stuff, and you're being led by example. And I think that's one of the greatest things that a father can instill is to lead by example. I think it's so important that uh, that one of the things that I got was the work ethic, because a lot of the people that were around me, they were consistent, hard working men who weren't afraid of providing, or weren't afraid of working, weren't afraid of going out and meeting the challenges. And so I think, first of all, a man has to have that. He has to have that work ethic, whether he's a father or not. And then once he is a father, then he becomes a provider. He's providing for someone greater than himself. And so I believe that's very important. And I want to thank those men and even my grandmother for allowing that. And those men that came into my life, they weren't my biological father. As I said, I didn't know my father, but they were men who provided the things that I needed. And one of the things that I took away specifically was a strong work ethic. And when I became a father, I had the desire to provide. I knew I needed to provide for those children, for my family, and that's gone on through today.
Mm. I know you talk about mentorship and you talk about men, but were there any ladies or in your life while you were younger that also you can say that provided great mentorship in some areas?
Well, yes, I could say, for instance, my grandmother. She was a great mentor. She mentored me and helped me to see the realities of life. She was a very upfront lady who let me know that, first of all, life is hard. But in life is hard. She would tell me life is hard, but you're gonna get through life. I can remember an instance where one time I came from the military and I didn't want to go back, and I went AWOL. She had my uncles find me, put me in a cab, and send me back. And later she told me it hurt her to have to see me go back, but she knew that was the best thing for me. And I believe that part of that is sometimes doing the hard things, in spite of the emotional aspect of it, but doing the hard things, because doing the hard things are what's right. And I believe, yeah, I had other aunts that also assisted me. So yeah, there were women in my life, and I don't discount that, but I believe that there's something about having a man, at least from my perspective, even for young girls, understanding and having some man to be a part of that mentorship. And a father, one of the greatest roles is to be a provider.
Oh, that's great. Doing something even though it hurts you. She sent you back to the military, and that helped you become the man that you were. She knew you needed some things that needed to be instilled within you, and she did it anyway, even though her heart said anything else. Um, Let me ask you about your sons. I know you have some sons. What is challenging staring them into manhood? Just give me something brief on that with your sons.
I'll give you three things. It is difficult for any man. I was unfortunately separated or went through a divorce, so that's challenging. And then on top of that, I was living a distance from my son. So that's even more challenging. So I would say this: one, you have to still be willing to reach out. You have to still be willing to be a provider, and you have to still be willing to endure the hard stuff and help your children to grow up and learn that. And I believe that's one of the greatest things a father can be as a person, regardless of the distance, regardless of, to be able to reach out and to be accessible for your children, and also to still continue to provide for your children. And if you can do that, I believe that's the greatest part of being a father and a mentor, to be there for your children.
Great. From boys to men, in today's society with technology, listeners, schedule a meeting with minister so he can impart into your young men lives in assisting them fulfilling their purpose. Mentorship is so crucial in all of our lives. Tune in weekly. Ask Shamari, let's talk. Click, like, follow, share. Questions send to akshamari@gmail.com. If it's important to you, it's important to us. Tell me your dreams.